that are required for every business to be successful. Repetition, which is doing the same thing consistently for a long period of time, is a very big part of being successful in your business being successful. You really shouldn't break what's not broken. BNI is a prime example of a business which has succeeded relying heavily on repetition, the weekly meetings and the same process every week and that sort of thing. A big mistake that most small businesses do is they don't do the repetition. They try things for a small period of time. Either it starts working and then they want to try something else to make it bigger, or it's not working because they don't try it for long enough. But if the business is traveling well and simply not growing, a famous quote by Albert Einstein comes to mind, which is, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. You have to change things up to get things to change if you want them to. The repetition is, you're going to work every day. There's repetition in doing your taxes, in sleeping, but these are all things that shouldn't be changed. You need to do these things, but the innovation comes in when you change a small part of that to make it more efficient, more creative, or more profitable, something like getting a new pillow that makes the sleep more effective. Before delving into innovation and change, consider why you're actually doing that change. A change because you're bored or because things have become stagnant. When things are actually working really well, that's a bad idea. That's only going to make your business go down. The reason also needs to be really assessed and critiqued. You need to plan it, and you also need to research the change itself. Part of the research should be looking into whether someone has tried this before. There might be a reason why no one's doing it, and it probably isn't because you've thought of it first. It's probably because people have tried it and failed, or they haven't quite tweaked it enough to get it to work. Speaking to people more experienced in the field and doing your research online is great. Within BNI, there's a long process of rolling out any change. The first step is to speak to one of the directors, the higher ups who have been in the game for quite a long time, and they've seen many things tried and either failed or succeeded, and we're still doing them now. Over 34 years that BNI has been in business, they've seen this time and time again, and directors coming in all excited, well, we've got this great idea, and they say, no, we've tried it, it hasn't worked, move on, try something else. There's also a strict trial and error process in BNI. So what a lot of people do is that they'll try and roll out a change across their entire business network straight away without actually testing it on a small control group first. So you can't just do that and hope for the best. The worst thing that can happen with this one is that you might lose clientele or colleagues or referral partners that have chosen you for a specific reason, and now you've gotten rid of that reason because you haven't actually tested things out in a smaller group. So what BNI does is they test it on one chapter, usually the chapter who's come up with the idea, and if it's successful there, then maybe they'll try a handful, 5 chapters, then they'll try a whole region, a country, and only then do they roll it out across the entire BNI network. There's plenty of room for innovation and creativity in the BNI meeting itself. So what we don't want to change is the actual structure. The structure of the BNI meeting, it's been tested for decades and it works. This shouldn't be changed, but the spontaneity can occur within the weekly presentations. They shouldn't be the same week in, week out. And Ivan Meisner actually said in a podcast relating to this is that the worst ones are the same every week because people just tune out. You need to change up what you're doing, your structure of your presentations, but not the structure of the entire meeting. So you can establish creativity within the confines of the system, change a feature, not the process. The repetition in your business and in the BNI meeting will create a systematic process to build trust, confidence, and reputation and consistency. And then the addition of the innovation will ensure that you're always building and growing your business, attracting new people, and retaining those that are already involved with you, including inside and outside of the BNI meeting. That's me.
Thank you, Amanda. Okay, so now we